most powerful machine Mercedes-AMG has ever built. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to Mercedes-AMG GT 63S 4-door coupe. Very catchy, isn't it? But something tells me that this car is very catchy everywhere. This is the first 4-door sports car coming out of Affalterbach, the heart of AMG. It's not just another Mercedes-AMG. This rocker has been built from scratch by AMG, just like her cousin, AMG GT. And it is to AMG GT what Porsche Panamera Turbo S is to 911. Under the bonnet we've got something rather glorious. 4-liter V8 bi-turbo petrol engine which pumps 639 horsepower. We've got 900 Nm of torque, 0 to 100, well, 3.2 seconds. It's pretty quick. Now the maximum speed is 315 kilometers an hour, 196 miles per hour for my American friends. This shark has confirmed its record on Nürburgring Nordschleife, 7 minutes and 25 seconds. Unfortunately for Porsche Panamera Turbo as well, hasta la vista. This car is 15 seconds faster. As this wasn't enough, Mercedes-AMG are talking about a hybrid version with over 800 horsepower, but I reckon for today, this is plenty. Let's do this. Whilst the name isn't very refined, the looks are a very different story. A pure mixture of a sports car and Gran Turismo. Sensational curves, massive body, this front Panamericana grille, I absolutely love it. It makes it look like a shark. Moving to the side of this beautiful machine, we've got air vents that are unfortunately plastic fantastic. They're also fake. I mean, absolutely uncalled for. Why did you do this, Mercedes? Moving on. 4-door coupe, of course, means we've got 4 doors and they are frameless, very posh. What else? That's right, soft closing. We don't have to do anything with Mercedes. We've got the swooping roofline, very sleek and very sexy. Now onto the rear. Isn't it lovely? We've got the rear lights nearly identical to AMG GT. Active spoiler. Depending on what you're doing on the road and how fast you're going, it raises itself. It's got 4 different positions, but with the press of a single button, you can actually put it up yourself. And I do it because I feel I can fly then. Also, we've got 4 massive exhaust pipes that are very real. So let's feel it and let's hear it. Real. So let's start with a comfortable mode. Actually, we're starting with the slippery mode because it is rather well wet today. Is it comfortable? Is it a Merc ride? Yeah, sure it is. But ladies and gentlemen, let's not forget, this is not just a Merc. This is a proper kick-ass AMG. Because when you put your foot down in this car, it's just mad. It is so raw. It's absolutely mental. So from this perspective, I suppose, it's a little bit uncomfortable. Why? Well, because when you let your hair down in this car, you know there might just be a cop around the corner. Some people say it looks a little bit like CLS. Well, does it really? Nah, it does not look like a CLS. When you know that this is an animal. And, well, let me just put it this way. The men in uniforms, oh yeah, they are lurking around the corner. For drivers like myself today, and for cars like this one. Anyway, fun is fun, on to practicality. Let's take a look at the boot space. It's actually great. We've got 395 liters, additional 66 liters under the floor. We can fold the back seats with the press of a single button. What's not so great is the access. It's a little bit, well, tricky, but after all, it's a fun car.
This is the hour, the darkest place.
We've got 9-speed automatic transmission, 9 gears. Do we need all these? Well, probably not, but anyway, moving on. There's a lot to think about for this car, a lot to reflect upon. Is it a quick thinker? Of course it is, especially in a sport mode. This car knows exactly where it needs to upshift, when it needs to downshift, especially in a sport mode and sport plus mode. It's just bang, it's happening. You don't need to think, it does it for you. Now, Air suspension comes as standard, and is it fluffy? Well, no, not exactly. It's firm, it's sporty, but it's still actually a very good long distance cruiser. It's a proper Gran Turismo, fast and comfortable. Now on to steering. The steering is laser sharp. It is so precise. I take a lot of cars on this mountain pass, and I know exactly when the car is sharp in terms of steering, and this is just like a knife. Am I going to say anything negative about this car today? Of course not. Why should I say something negative? So if you like to hear good things, very good things about Mercedes-AMG, keep on watching. Now, best way to test the back space is, of course, to be a passenger. After you've purchased this car, you don't have much money left, but I still do have a bit of money for a chauffeur. All right, he's from Eastern Europe, but that's okay. Now, Dimitri, whatever your name is, please put this car to comfort mode. I mean, he's not really listening, but
Suka pijać.
I mean, but that's fine. What's happening in the comfort mode? We are using only 4 cylinders out of 8, and this is also safe. You can't behave like this here. This is politically correct country. This is not Wild East, young man. Please stop and let me speak. God, my apologies for this. Out of 8 cylinders, we're using 4 to save petrol. This car all it uses is 17 liters. Now, I was recently driving Volvo V60. It was using as much as this car, and this cookie has got 639 horsepower. Yeah. Now back to peace and quiet. In GT63 you get 2 separate seats in the back. In GT53 you get 1 shared space. Overall the space here is a little bit dark, it's a little bit claustrophobic. There's plenty of space, lots of legroom. The headroom is also okay. But you see, the best place in this car by far, is behind the steering wheel. This is driver's car, so AMG, stop pretending, let's not kid ourselves. If you want to be driven in a car, get yourself an S-Class, you'll be much happier. Now, speaking of steering, rear wheel steering comes as standard in this car. What this means essentially is that at lower speeds, the back wheels turn in the opposite directions to the front wheels to help you maneuver this car better. But at higher speeds, they turn in the same directions to help you with stability. And speaking of stability and handling, this car, it's safe to say this is one of the best cars in terms of stability and handling I have ever driven in my life. Yes, that's how good it is. So this car is all-wheel drive, which makes it very special, but also rather useful. I mean, we're at the end of April and it's blooming snowing in Switzerland. Come on. Anyway, in the race mode, you can actually switch it to be rear-wheel drive to get a little bit of that slip on your rear end. And speaking of slips and slightly more dynamic settings, let's risk my life and put this beast into Sport Plus. I mean, honestly, yeah, I hear it all the time. This engine is so talkative, it is out of this world. This car in a sport mode and Sport Plus mode, not to mention the race mode, it is an absolute animal. It's just beast of those beasts. I mean, no word can justify how amazing this car feels, how good it feels. Within a week, I've woken up the entire Switzerland, I think. I have told them I have arrived with my Mercedes-AMG and I'm not going anywhere, I'm staying here. Now onto the cabin. Where do I begin? Very Mercedes? Well, yes and no. It is very new and very stunning. You might think it's another Mercedes-AMG at first glimpse, but there's some major differences here. Now the quality of the materials and the finishing is superb. Beautiful Alcantara steering. We've got all the controls here to control your infotainment system, but also things like suspension, exhaust, etc. Air vents, turbine effect, very cool. Now what makes this car very, very special is the central control, which mimics the V8 engine. We've got all the buttons here that control all the fun stuff. The seats, well, not only comfortable, we've got seat massage, all the gimmicks, but actually what's the most important, they do a very, very good job when you decide to go a little bit crazy. You see, this is a perfectly engineered German machine. I mean, perfectly engineered. You can see it in every single detail of this car. Alright, except for those fake air vents. Sorry, Mag, that's not gonna cut it. But you can especially feel it every single second spent with this car. On the road, on the track. You know how much brain, not to mention the love that has been put into building this car. It's just incredible what Mercedes and AMG have done to it. I mean, they've built it from scratch, and you know it's just so perfect. I know I should be a little bit more critical, but how can I be? I'll be a miserable cow if I said anything negative of this car. It's so fun. It's just so powerful. I mean, I'm driving in a pouring rain and snow. It's slippery. It is icy, but this is just gliding like a rocket, like a big, massive, luxurious German rocket. Of course, a perfect rocket ain't cheap, so don't get carried away. The model I'm driving today is worth more than 500,000 Swiss francs, which is equivalent to the US dollar. That's right, more than $250,000 American dollars. But is it expensive? Yes, it's quite expensive, you can say, quite pricey. But the good news is that the V6 version starts from 125,000. That's not so bad, is it? This is just life, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Good things cost money. Now, going back to my original question, is it too much then? Not the money, it's just a little bit pricey, let's get over it. I'm talking about this car in general. Is it too much? Of course it is. It's way too much. Here's how I see it. Let's say you can afford to purchase this car. You drive it, you love it, you let your hair down, you do things you wouldn't normally do, yeah? You let yourself feel things you wouldn't have normally felt. You feel so alive, you feel so confident, so powerful. You feel all these things. You are so high on emotions that, you see, there comes a point in time where unfortunately you get pulled over. And things start to feel a little bit uncomfortable, don't they? Because you know what's coming next. What's coming next ain't good at all. To get out of this uncomfortable situation, you sell your house, you sell your body, and it's over. For you, not for her. She's going somewhere else very quickly. She's finding somebody right away with more money. And she's having a lot of fun once again, not with you. So moral of the story is, well, love is don't buy this car in Switzerland, because just like a woman, she'll break not only your wallet, she'll break your heart, she'll break everything, and she will leave you high and dry, unfortunately, and she'll go and find somebody else, obviously. Somebody more successful, somebody smarter and richer. But nevertheless, she's still just pure perfection. And you simply can't help yourself from doing all these things you shouldn't be doing, because that's what it is. That's what happens with pure perfection. This is how I feel about this car. Just when I thought not many cars out there, especially German, do this. She's done it to me. She's done it to me big times, and I think it's time to wrap things up because I'm becoming a little bit too poetic. for my liking. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. I know you probably haven't enjoyed it as much as I have, but that's just life sometimes. Some people get more, some people get less. A big thank you to Patrick and Roman from Mercedes-Benz Switzerland. Actually, nah, I don't thank you because you've ruined me. So thanks for that. I look forward to your comments as always. Just be nice, don't be mean at all. I don't take it very well. I become very, very aggressive. I wish you a wonderful day, whatever that you're doing, and I shall see you all very, very soon. Bye!